Coach Chris Oliver, welcome to the BCAM podcast.
Honored to be here. Really, really a great experience for me to be able to finally speak at the BCAM clinic.
We're excited to have you. Coach, practice. What makes a great practice?
Well, a lot of that's been, for me, experiential and evidence-based ideas over the years in skill acquisition and motor learning. What makes a great practice is one where players are engaged, entertained, and obviously learning. So the number one thing that I say to every coach is the first thing we got to do is create an environment. So let's create a learning environment. We don't think of practice often as a learning environment. We think of it as an intensity environment. But those two things don't have to go together. They can, but they don't need to go together. The main thing is, are we doing things in practice that are transferring information to the game for players so that they can play games better? So the environment, and then we want to give them an opportunity to be able to explore that environment. And then the third part, of course, is what coaches are good at, which is explicit instruction and giving them explicit instruction. So I say really the 3 E's. So a great practice has the 3 E's and accounts for all 3 of those things.
Nice. So if someone walked into a gym and they saw practice, what would the players be doing? What would the coaches be doing?
Very simple for me. They're playing basketball. And I know we laugh, but that's like, I've walked into so many practices at high levels, low levels, where players aren't playing basketball.
Tell me what that means.
They're literally playing the game of basketball, offense versus defense, and it looks like a game. And that's the thing. We want to have representative practice because what we know, and this is well researched now, this isn't some mythology. What we know is that basketball transfers to basketball. Wow, that sounds complicated. No, it really isn't, right? The more that your drills or your games in practice look like what happens in the game, the more likely the perceptual information, the decision-making information, particularly, transfers to the game. So when we do a drill on air, let's say 3-man weave. 3-man weave transfers no information for a player to help them play the game better. And that's proven by research, but it's also proven by experiential learning that I know if I just add one defender to 3-man weave, the drill doesn't work. So if you think about it that way, think about, okay, does it look like the game? And if I add a defender who's live to this drill that I'm doing, does it still work in a game? And those two things, I think, can help coaches guide kind of their understanding of what my practices would look like, but how they can improve their practices as well.
So, Coach, when a coach is designing or organizing a practice, do you have any thoughts on what percentage of the practice time should be defensive focus, what percentage should be offensive focus, what percentage should be fundamental focus, or are you more of a whole coach? What are your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts, again, are whole, part only if I need it. Okay. And part only after I determine they need it from the wholes. I think we predetermine too much. Like in Michigan, we're predetermining that kids don't need shot clocks. Have we ever asked the kids? Of course they want shot clocks. They want to play fast. They want more possessions, more decisions, more chances to play basketball. So I think about that in a practice setting too. And I go, what can I do that the players are going to be engaged and entertained? Because that's part of our responsibility as coaches, that they have a great experience.
Right.
And not just a great experience in terms of winning and losing, but in the fact that they enjoy practice and they get better. So 100% of my practice is offense versus defense. So we're coaching both at the same time, two-way coaching. And sometimes we can go in with an emphasis saying, here's an emphasis of this or that. But clearly the game is going to inform me what I need to coach. So I say a really brave thing, for you, you've coached this long, to go into a practice and don't have a plan and just put them in a 5-on-5 situation that we need to work on. And then from there, let the game inform you what they need more of. That's as simple as it gets. Right. And I think too often we are predetermining with drills with, they need this technique to solve this problem. How do we know they need this technique to solve the problem? That's my determination. Let's put them in the situation first. That's what we're saying about the environment. Create the environment, let them explore the environment, and then decide what you need to coach.
Nice. So our theme this year is networking. Tell our audience about the power of networking and how that's played a role in your life.
Wow. For me, this is everything because I'm not a great networker. Like I'm not this charismatic going out there. I'm pretty much an introvert. Mm-hmm. And yet I run now like an international brand and a podcast that's international. And it's crazy to think this, but when I was the head coach of the University of Windsor for 14 years, like I started to build this basketball immersion brand in 2014. But I was always aligned with basketball, and clearly basketball gave me confidence as a person. So it gave me confidence to be able to talk to you, talk to anyone, because we're talking basketball, something I'm knowledgeable in. And that from there gave me the opportunity to be able to build a network. Built a network, really, there's two things I say, network and knowledge. Like you're building yourself up through network or knowledge. For me, the knowledge led to the network. Sure. Other people, the network can be built because of who they are as the person. And both of those are fine. But I mean, for so many years, I wanted to speak at this clinic because what an incredible clinic. Right. One of the best in the world.
Largest in the country.
One of the best in the world, no question. And again, why am I here? Network. But network built through knowledge that I started to share openly, and then it became a thing. And it's a really cool experience to be able to do that. So I encourage people to not just think about network in terms of, I have to go talk to someone. It's about what can you share that adds value to someone, that brings a conversation to you and brings questions to you. And that's the superpower that I think everyone can use because we all have some knowledge that is unique to us.
I like that. Coach, thanks for joining the BCAM Network.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.